Right, so it's been around about 3 weeks now since we actually got on and did an autumn renovation on this space. Anyone who's been on this channel now for a few weeks will know that we actually scarified this space a while back. We overseeded it and we top dressed it as well. And it's safe to say that so far the lawn is looking pretty decent. If I just bring you in closer now, you can see that the sward is definitely a nice density. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. And for the most part, I mean, a few mushrooms there, but they're not going to kill anyone. For the most part, we've got next to no weeds knocking about, and we thinned out a lot of those weed grasses in the renovation process too. And today, it's definitely time to start thinking about getting on your lawn with an autumn-winter mix. So I'm going to give this lawn its first autumn feed today. It's not been fed since probably early August time, so it's been long overdue. We'll get the feed down, but before we do, let's get the mower, let's give this lawn a quick cut. So I've got the Grass People's autumn winter fertiliser mix that I'm going to be putting down on this space today. It's the same stuff that I put on the front lawn as well around about a week ago, and the results there so far have been fairly decent. And it doesn't really matter necessarily which autumn winter feed you go with, just make sure that you've got like a low amount of nitrogen, because you don't want to be promoting loads of growth. Now if you do that, what you're going to cause the plant to do is almost try and grow too much when the conditions aren't completely perfect. As we're now getting into October, we've got quite cool temperatures, so we almost want to be preparing this lawn for survival through the winter rather than getting it to actually thicken up more than it actually is. Now there is a little bit of nitrogen in there, it's going to promote a little bit of growth, but it's not going to be a massive amount. It's got more phosphorus and potassium, and that's all about developing those really strong roots. And with a space like this, because there's a bit of a slope to it, always does well with drainage, always fares fairly well over the winter, especially if you take care of it. And you can see now from the quality of it, for an October lawn, it's not looking too bad whatsoever. So let's get on, let's feed it with this feed, and yeah, go from there. So I've got the drop spreader set on 7.5, do a couple of passes over the space, that should be enough to distribute all of the fertiliser. And if you're wondering why I've not used the handheld iron hell, like rotary spreader, there's been a bit of an issue with it, with the actual size of the hole sitting on there. It seems to be getting jammed on the lowest setting, so that's on my jobs list today, to take that apart and see what the issue is there. Hence why I got on with the drop spreader. Drop spreader isn't ideal because you can end up with some spaces which are darker than others, or you can miss a few spots, but as long as you do a couple of passes, you'll be absolutely fine, depending on the size of your lawn, I guess, as well. So there we go, that's one of the last big jobs we're going to be doing to this lawn now that we're in autumn. We've done the renovation, we've got on, we've given it an autumn winter feed, and the last thing we are going to do, not today but in a few months time, is we'll get on with a little bit of iron, put any of that moss sort of at bay by dehydrating the plants, not allowing that moss to be able to reproduce, making sure that we don't get any disease on this space, which for this space it is quite rare if it gets disease, because lots of the water runs off just with the nature of the slope that it's on, so the moisture doesn't really sit in the soil for too long like it does on the lawns in the back garden. But yeah, jobs are good. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's video or found it useful. If you have, feel free to give it a like. If you haven't already and you want to follow along with more lawn videos like this, I'm not an expert lawn person by trade. The job I do as my normal sort of day-to-day job is the furthest thing from lawn care that you can imagine. But if I can do this, anyone can. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, feel free to do so. And finally, thanks for watching.